Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I last uploaded. I've been really busy streaming on Twitch, so if you want to catch me live, catch me there at Emerald Tries Gaming. But for today, I wanted to do a little bit of a relaxing video. I know you guys back at YouTube like putting my videos on the background to, study to, or do chores to, or do some cooking, or whatever you want to do. So today we're going to be doing some Factory Town. I hope you're ready. Let's go. Right, so I've started up a new save. And we're going to put a couple of houses down. Just here. And I'm going to get a bit of money going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest some wheat and sell that to the houses. I have been working on other saves as well, so not all of my, my hotkeys are specifically set for starting game. And I'm going to plop down 4 more people here. I don't have enough coins, which means that we have to wait a little bit for them to sell the wheat to the houses. But once I can, I'm gonna have some workers drop off some stone to the town centre. Now I can put down 2 more workers if I have the money, which I have now for 1 more. Oh, that's not going anywhere. Let's drop you off there. I'm going to wait a little bit more before everything is sold. There they go. Now we can purchase our final worker, and he's going to drop off some stone. Now we want to build a lumber mill, and we already have enough resources for that. I'm going to delete 1 worker and have him work here, and I'll have them drop off the wood to the lumber mill, and we have to of course make sure they are making planks. So let's draw a little path just to... Oh, of course, we have no workers anymore that are dropping off wood to the town centre. So let's quickly do that, actually. Because with a little bit of wood, we can make some paths, which makes them walk faster. And we'll do the same for the grain here. And they are just going to make some planks. The output's full, so we're going to remove a worker from the stone gathering, and slowly but surely we'll get enough wood to really fully build a path. Now we need 20 planks, which we're almost at, to get our next tech level, which will enable us to make some schools. Once we can do that, we can connect the schools up to the buildings. They will get research done, and we can further progress our technology. And that's basically what we're going to be doing the entire game. We're going to progress technology, and to do so we need to get more and more resources. We need to get more and more advanced materials, and you're going to want to be efficient every time you want to increase efficiency, I'd say. So that's, in a nutshell, the goal of the game. It's very simple. The basics are very simple. It's when you get further into the game, things get a lot more complicated. You struggle to, get your what's it called, logistics going. But we've unlocked all of these things now that we have 20 planks. And our next goal is going to be wood wheels, 10 wood wheels and 20 stone bricks. Now, let's make sure our pathing is fully laid out now. In the meantime, let's see what we can do now. Wood wheels are produced by the workshop, and we can't make that yet. We have to research it, which means that we're going to have to build a school. Now we do need 20 planks again for that, so we're going to wait until we are at that point. And in the meantime, we can have another worker, since our happiness is going up because we are selling basic food to the houses. Because of that, that increases our worker capacity. So what we can do now, I think we might be able to purchase a food market. We can indeed. That connects up to the houses. So instead of directly selling that food to the houses, the workers can sell it to the food market, which means that they'll have to travel less, and it distributes it among those houses on its own. Now, some other things we could do. We could have flour, bread. There's all kinds of food we could sell to them. Which we could start selling them fish if we put down a crate somewhere. Right here, I think we should manage that. We can make a raft, which isn't super quick, but it can fish. We'll put down another worker that will pick everything up from there and drop it off at the market. In the meantime, we're just a little bit shy on wood, so we're going to employ 2 extra workers and have them deliver wood to the town centre. That way we can be a little bit quicker to get those materials to the town centre. Now, the raft is filled up with fish. It's bringing it to this box, and that worker is taking it from the box to the market. Which will again increase the level of happiness. With some more basic food. Now, obviously, we can also make a general store. So let's draw out a little path here. Because there's a resource quite near us that has cotton. And the general store sells, well, general goods to the population. Which will also, once again, increase happiness. It also sells stone, apparently. So we're going to send one of the stone miners off to the general store to sell that. Let's try and draw out a little path for them. There we go. To increase their happiness again. See, they've got basic food. They're going to be getting some hardware in a little bit. What do you not want? Oh, that's probably... Oh, it's a stone brick. Sorry. We need to process that stone into stone bricks before you can sell it. So, not yet. So we're just going to put him to work again by bringing the stone to the town centre. But we can have a worker... Let's steal another worker from the stone mining. We can have that worker drop off some planks, because we have a surplus of planks currently. Drop them off at the store to increase our happiness. The market's full, which means that their happiness is saturated with grain, but we have a new level. I'm just going to plop down the houses here. We're going to assign some neighborhoods later on, but we don't need to currently. Right, now that we have that, we can grab some cotton and we'll draw a path so it can go quicker. It will find the quickest path. And we'll be able to draw a full path. Oh, not yet, no. I thought we would be able to draw a full path to the fish crate, but unfortunately we can't. Excuse me. But in that case, we're going to check out what else we can do. We can make a lumber... Oh, we have a lumber mill, sorry. Can we make a workshop? Oh, no, we need the school. But we can put the school down. And to do that, we need paper. So we'll have someone that delivers the paper here. But we also need a water. So we're going to Well, we're not yet going to put down a well because we don't have enough planks. But that is the plan. Once we hit 10 planks, which is now, we'll plop down a well, and that worker is going to bring water to the lumber mill, and they'll be producing paper. So that's going. And let's see, we can up our population cap again. So let's place some additional houses. So we have a good population cap now. Let's see how we can speed things up. We want obviously more research. So we're going to increase the amount of workers here because we do have enough wood to keep producing. And he can't keep up with the output. We also have research available, so let's quickly go there. We have grain processing now, which is pretty good. Because they can take flour. So if we do a food mill here, then we can say, I want you to produce flour. Now let's check out our workers. Instead of bringing it to the market, I need you to bring it to the food mill. And you pick up flour and drop it off at the market. And let's see the others. This one's bringing grain directly to the market. I want you to not do that. Oh, worker overview is K. I thought it was X. I was just being a little bit blind. You drop off your grain to the food mill, and you drop off grain to the food mill instead of the other way around. Okay, so we have some slackers here because they don't have any room, which means that we can put another worker on top here and have them deliver paper to the school, which will also increase our efficiency here. Our input and output is still pretty high. We can employ some masonry, which means that we can now build, if I'm not mistaken, a stonemason. Put him right next to the stone miners, and we'll have them make stone bricks. Now we're going to place someone who is going to bring stone to it, and we'll place someone who brings the bricks to the town centre. And that is part of our goal to go to tech level 3. So we have that sorted out. We can upgrade our town centre, which is great. It increases the radius a little bit, and our population limit essentially. We're going to have another worker take out paper and bring it to the school just to speed that up, and I think we can afford another worker to drop off planks to the town centre just to speed that up a little bit. Now, they are crossing each other quite a bit, and they don't really have space to pass each other, so we're going to move that building out of the way and make a second path here, just so they have the space and they can walk on the road a little bit better. Going to extend our path, so the foresters take that path, and now we have woodworking available. Now let's see, that means we've unlocked the workshop, so we're going to put that down here, and we're going to make some wood wheels because we need that for our goal. So let's pick up a worker that will drop planks off to the workshop, and of course we need a worker to bring the wheels to the town centre. We can employ chutes now. I'm not sure if we need to make chutes. I don't think we have to. I think we can just put them there. So the people that are getting wood, there's only one other person getting wood and bringing it to the lumber mill. We connect them to the chute now, so they don't have to walk as much, and they can just very easily drop it off to the chute and it will go into the lumber mill, no problem. We have new research available, basic logistics. Right, we don't really need to use that right now, but it's very useful in the future. But that way you can split you can split certain conveyor belts, you can have pushers, and you can have a whole thing where you prioritize certain whatchamacallit, resources to split over to different areas. Now, to get more research done, we can make a book, and we can do that with leather or cloth. Now we have both a farm. Well, now we could really go out and farm. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to move the school. It'll take them a little bit longer to bring it, but I'm going to move the school over here. And I'll get a workshop next to it that produces the books. And I'm going to do that with... Ooh, there's a lot more steps to making sure these leathers are produced. Although at the same time, you know what? Let's make leather. To do so, we need a worker that will pick up the books and bring it to the school first of all. So we need paper now. And we need leather. Well, we can get leather from a... Oh, we can't have it from a pasture yet. Because we've not researched it. We really didn't. Oh, we've unlocked the ability to research it. Well, we have a wood conveyor belt now, which is going to be very, very useful. We can make that in the workshop. And we'll have that be produced here. And we can make a barn, which is super useful as well. For now, we'll put a worker there, and it's going to pick up all the conveyor belts and put them in the barn. Now, let's see. We don't actually have enough planks to ensure that our conveyor belts are being produced. So what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, put a chute here and another worker that is going to chop wood and put it on that chute. So we have an input of wood directly here. He is still picking up the planks, but they're also being produced by the wheels. So instead of bringing it to the town center, I'm going to have the worker that picks up everything apparently from the workshop. I'm going to have them drop it off at the barn. That way, when the barn's full, the barn's full. And we'll have a little bit of backlog. It will take a little bit extra for the conveyor belts to be produced. But that way we have both of them being done here. And we can slowly start replacing workers with conveyor belts. So for example, this guy is waiting for conveyor belts, but for planks, but we have one already that can drag planks out of the lumber mill and will input them straight into the workshop. I think we have another one that we can replace. And we set the filter to conveyor belts. That's going to put it into this barn. And we replace this worker with a conveyor belt. And that is going to draw out the wooden wheels. Now, we also have a worker that is inputting flour from the food mill. So we can take those out. And let's see. For now, we don't have to replace any workers. We're going to focus a little bit on the other things. But we've got a conveyor belt thing working. Now we do want to speed up the process of getting those things to school, those research points. So, sorry, I keep moving them, but I need to put the school in front of the lumber mill. And we're going to make a little platform so the workers can still go under it. Drag it out, and that is going to input the paper directly into the school, just to speed up that process as well. And we have new research available. We can make fluid pipes, which is great because that means we can take away this guy. We shouldn't have done that because we do need to make fluid pipes actually. So you will still be picking up water and bringing it there. But let me see. I think here we can make fluid pipes. So once again, we'll get a barn. And I can't afford that. We need planks for that. Let's see. We could always get another lumber mill going. And have them produce only the fluid pipes. And I'll put a little chute. Oh, I can't afford that. So I'll just put a worker in. Have them chop some wood. Bring that in. And we'll have another worker who will just pick up the water pipes for now and bring them to town centre. And that's all they're going to do. I will build them a little path. Oh. Didn't like that. Terrain flattener. We can do that. There we go. Now we have a little path. So they are as quick as they can be. And let's path this up as well. Oh. It went actually on top of that, which we don't need to do. Now these folks are wondering what's going on with the paper. So let's remove them since we have a conveyor belt now. So we don't need them to actually do that. Perfect. Our house is increasing. That's good. Right, yeah, we just need to sort of wait for our research to come in. So how can we increase the rate of our... We're missing wood, essentially. So we'll just employ another guy to put wood in. And we can afford to get another one in there. So let's see if we can't make sure that they are constantly supplying it. This is nearly constantly, so let's get another worker in there. We can extend the chute. Oh, if we can get one in. There we go. They'll automatically go to the new end. And we have civics now. We can have more houses, which we really didn't need to do currently. I don't know why I chose that one. Farming would have been more useful at this current rate because we're not utilizing all of our workers. I'm kind of holding off on capping the workers if I don't strictly need to. So I can assess situations and have them solved by adding more workers, right? So, you know, the fact that I need more wood coming in means that I can just get another worker, put him there, have them deliver it to the lumber mill, and they're just going to constantly produce paper in this case, and fluid pipes, but also paper. And let's actually, because we have another place where we're going to be producing fluid pipes, let's remove that from that queue so we can use all those efforts to make our paper and planks. That will also speed up the process. Right. In the meantime, let's check out what's going on here. Their happiness is still doing well. Education they've got going. Clothing we can't do yet. Yeah, we really just need to wait for those research points to come in. And we're also using up all of our planks. So why not, since we have so many people, have another plank production going. And since we don't have the resources to build a barn, we're going to have a worker bring that to the town centre. And as soon as we have a bit more going, we'll plop down another bar next to that lumber mill. And we have new research available. Now we can get some farming done. All right, gorgeous. So, what we're going to put here, now we're going to move to school actually. And this is going to be our book production. So we need leather, which means we need a pasture. What, did we not? I'm so confused. Did we not? Oh, we still have to research that. That is annoying. Well, we move this again. I keep going forward, like I keep thinking we're further than we are, or we progress quicker than we do, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, what are you going to do? Wait, let me, yes, put that down. There we go. Now, I did trap some people here, so I'm going to put you there, put you there, put you there. They can go through the wood. Oh, there's something stuck there. There we go. Now it's unclogged. I don't know why it does that. I'm sure it's not intended. But now they can bring it to the chute again. Who's the one worker that is supposed to be bringing it here? Just going to make a new one. And someone's snoozing. A couple people are snoozing. I'll just get rid of you. Excuse me. No more snoozers. Perfect. Now let's see if that paper processing is still doing the works. No, we did get rid of a couple people. So let's build 3 more workers, or buy 3 more workers essentially, and have them supply wood to that specific chute. So we can keep this going. Can we speed that up even more? I mean, I suppose so. Just another worker. Right, that should be it. Well, get rid of this worker. Oh, shit. That's not what I wanted to do. I'll copy this lumber mill. I accidentally got rid of that one. It's going to make planks and papers. I wanted to get rid of that worker. Because it's waiting for planks, but they're being used up for the wood wheels and the conveyor belts, so that's not actually super useful. And we're making planks here, right here. We also have enough planks to build a barn here, so let's put a grabber with a conveyor belt that grabs planks, and let me see, the worker that picks up the planks can go. Doesn't need to bring it to the town center anymore. Yeah, you're all very, very lost, aren't you? Well, I'll just get rid of you. Right, now the problem is the fact that we are not producing fast enough. We finally have fluid pipes because we were constructing that somewhere else, so we can connect the well up directly, eliminating the need for another worker there. And let's see. We have some more research done, and we have forestry. Now that's going to be really useful. I'm going to get rid of all of these people. And I'll get you gone as well. I'll put down a forester. Connect that up. Let me make that a little corner. So now it just automatically pulls wood from this piece of forest, and it will input that, and it does pull it automatically 50-50 from these. But what we could also do is have one chute which does save on some resources in this case. And we can put a splitter here and say that it's 50-50. So we've saved a little bit of resources. So it's going to do that. We can increase our workers here. So we have a really good supply of wood here, which will once again increase our efficiency. Now for a pasture, we need 150 research points. I'm just going to have that go on. Yes, I know, you're still waiting. I'm just going to get rid of you before I forget about you. So that's doing its thing. Let me move some things around. I'm going to put that house over here. I'm going to put the stonemason here because that way I can have a chute going. And I'll move you here. And I'll have you deliver stone to that chute. And do we still have a worker that is bringing it to the town centre? We do. Perfect. So they're still steadily bringing stone to the town centre. And I think what we could do, paths, is replace our dirt path with a road. Now, we don't have a lot of workers anymore, but we'll probably have some carts later on. So it's good practice to replace your dirt roads with some stone roads. Just to keep everything updated. Because they go quicker as well. So these little fellas are still using the road, so they are, you know, hopping down it. I'm going to scoot these houses over a little bit. I'm going to bring them back a tile. And I guess you know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to make a second road. Now I am out of stone, but they're working hard to get that going. But we can make them work harder. We'll add 3 more workers that are going to add stone to that chute. It's going to bring it to the stonemason. And let's, for good measure, have a second villager drop that off at the town centre. Now I did see we have enough research point for an animal pasture finally. But I want to keep an eye on this because the house, I think the house might be connected this way, but I'm not entirely sure. It's a little bit finicky. Oh no, it seems to be connected. That's good. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that to finish it. We only need 3 stone, which we nearly have. Nearly, there we go. And just one more. Just one more stone brick. Beautiful. Right, now that we have that out of the way, so it's not out of our minds, we don't forget about it, we're finally going to plop down a pasture. Now this pasture is going to make leather, and a byproduct it has is fertilizer. So we don't really need to use that fertilizer soon, so we're going to store it in a barn, because we can use it to produce, we can feed it to farms, and we can use it to produce farm tiles. We'll have a farm next to it. No, we need a food mill next to it. Now, we don't need to put these all close together. We also have like a food mill here. We could connect that up as well, but I like having them dedicated. And I'm going to put a farm here because there's a lot of free space, which is why I like putting it here. It needs something to farm. So we're going to use our money to plant grains all around here. We might not have enough to fully fill it up. I'm going to try and get as much as I can in there. Because we have this great big empty space, which is perfect to completely use all of it around there. Okay, so we don't have enough money to fully get it done, but we will later on. And we'll have a little platform here and get a little chute going so we don't destroy the crops. And that's going to feed the grain into the food mill, which will then feed it, feed the animal feed into here. And the, fertilizer will be fed into here. Now, it helps to have fertilizer on your farm, so you can speed up the growing process. So that's what we're going to do here. It's going to pull out from the barn, which isn't filled yet, but will once these have grown. Let me see if I can plant more greens here. Couple more. I think we should be good for gold for a little bit. We only need... It's only 10 gold, so in a little bit we'll have 10 gold again. And then we can plant the last grain here, and we just know that we have enough to grow this. Now I think this doesn't have water, so we'll build a well here. And we'll use our fluid pipes to connect that well up to the farm. So by supplying it with water and with fertilizer, we'll be able to... speed up the growing process of this. So the growth process is 44%. The water will help. The fertilizer would help, but we can't make that yet because we don't have grain currently to feed to the pasture that will produce the fertilizer. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that, but we have it all set up now. So we have a little farm going that will create books, and we'll be able to fix that. Now, I did want to move the school over here to have it close to the book processing. Honestly, I might still need to do that, really. Let me think. Let's first put a specialty in this town, which is going to be processing, since that's all we're doing. Let me think about this. The thing is, if I pick up the paper manually and bring it here, they have to manually bring it back to the school. So we could bring the school back here. But I kind of like the idea of having... Yeah, we can remove paper from these orders. We'll just get rid of these. Put the school across from the workshop here. This is a workshop, right? Yes, this is. Put a little bridge over and it will supply the school with books. Now it needs paper. And it's a little bit of an unfortunate placement, so we're going to place them here. We're going to actually get rid of this bridge here. And we'll instead build a bridge here to bring the leather from the pasture to the workshop. And we'll have to set the filter. And we'll have a a conveyor belt on the ground to supply the books to the school. Now we need a lumber mill to make paper. So we'll put that here. And we'll put it in the radius of the town. So it will benefit from the boost that it gives. We're going to supply some water to it, and then we'll we're going to build a forester that is going to bring via chute wood to the lumber mill. Now we still need to supply the actual paper to the workshop, so let's put that there. Now in the meantime, our grain has grown. So that is supplying it to the food mill. That is converting it into feed. That is going to be converted into... Oh, we don't have water connected to the pasture. Oh. That's an oversight. But easily fixed. There we go. I'm going to increase the amount of workers on this farm since we have the means for it. And yeah, let's see. What shall we do now? I'm going to readjust my seating a little bit. So that's doing its thing. It's not supplying leather quick enough. So what we could do, we have enough resources here, so we'll increase the amount of workers here. And that'll produce the leather a lot quicker. It does take a while to make a book, so we're actually keeping up with that currently. And we're almost at the cap of our population. The other thing that's happening is that we're almost at the cap, or we've almost run out of our grain here. Now we could replant it, or we could repurpose this food mill, since we are getting grain at quite a steady pace, and feed that to either a second food mill that we could put here and connect over to that market right here. I'm just going to move these houses a little bit so we have some room to put the mill there, because they're currently bringing it to that mill, but we could put the mill right here, or right here if we can manage that. Oh, we can actually. Right, so if you put it like right here, we can actually put a little chute. Oops. Let me make sure it actually connects up. There we go. We need to take that off. That's going to supply the grain over there. And we had a conveyor belt going there, so we'll make another little bridge. And that will supply the milled grain, flour, it was flour, milled grain, also known as flour, to a market. And now we have a kitchen. So once again, we need to build some new things. Let's get a tavern. No, we can't actually do anything with a tavern yet. So let's build a kitchen first. It can take fuel, which we can use with fertilizer to make bread. But while we have a barn here that has fertilizer, it's a little bit in an unfortunate spot. We could loop it all the way back with conveyor belts back into there, but I like compartmentalizing it a little bit more, so I might just build another farm and pasture set that will have its own input, and I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I can at least, or we could use wood actually. There is a little forest here. So what we could do instead, we'll move this one tile so we can have it deliver bread over there. These people are going to have to walk around a little bit, but I'm just going to exhaust them until this is done. And instead of supplying it to the market, we'll have the flour be supplied to the kitchen with a little bridge so they can still walk under it on the path. We'll have the tailor research now, and we'll focus on that in a little bit. Let's see. So that is going. That means that we need a forester right here. And that is going to supply wood to the kitchen. So I'm going to build another platform so it can go over the path. I misclicked there. And we use a chute Because the chute can roll it down, but it can't roll up. Obviously, we'd need a conveyor belt for that. And we could do that, but it's just, we don't need to. But the wood is being supplied to the kitchen, and that will use the wood as fuel. You could use fertilizer, wood, coal, or magma. Well, we don't have magma yet. Fertilizer actually doesn't bring up a lot of fuel. It's actually better to get wood. So I suppose this was a better option anyway. Coal we don't have yet. Magma we certainly don't have. So now we are supplying bread to the village, and that increases our happiness once more. We have boat building. Now instead of the raft, we can have a boat. We don't really need to because it's filling up the crate quite well, and that is being sold. So we could, however, change this feller from picking up the fish and dropping it off at the market. We'll drop it off at the kitchen. And that is good. Now we could also build a tavern, right? Now I don't really remember what the tavern exactly does. More processed food. Right, so we need some more advanced foods for that. Let's put her here so we can easily connect the kitchen up with that. And let's see if there's anything we could make currently. It would like jams, dragon punch. Well, we can't make that. All sorts of produce here. Potatoes, potatoes and carrots. Cheese, which we'll need a pasture for. So these are a little complicated to make right now in the current phase we're at. So let's get rid of the tavern just so we don't clog up our little town centre. So that's going well now. Let's check out. We have wooden railways and cloth conveyor belts. We need both of those to research that, but we don't have enough red coins, and we do that by selling at a general store or a tailor. Not at a tailor. At a tailor we make things. So I'm going to put a tailor down here next to the cotton because we can make a shirt. Now I did say I would put it next to the cotton, but that needs to be processed first. So let's get another farm in. And it's going to be in range of the grain, but we're not going to actually have it produce grain. We are going to have it harvest cotton. That needs to go into a workshop, I think. Yes, to turn it into cloth. And we'll move the tailor again. We can move it over one tile again. So we can have it directly feed shirts into the general store. We can feed the cotton into the workshop directly. And we can just have a conveyor belt that feeds the cloth into the tailor. So that's all we need to make that. Now we can make more advanced things like a shirt and wool here. We'll need another pasture. We have leather that we need. And we could make like a clothing facility later on if we assign a little bit of room to it. But we need to do some rearranging for that. So we're going to hold off on that because our red coin production has significantly gone up now. So that's pretty good. We might be able to get wooden railways done in a little bit. And a cloth conveyor belt could be an excuse to get a cloth production going. A good proper cloth production. Although we could also probably just make it here in that workshop. Right. Let's start with the wooden railways, which we'll get now. I don't actually use the railways that much. I know they're useful, but I'm pretty bad at utilising them. I'm going to add wooden railways to the order here. And I'm going to add a barn. I'm going to make it off-center slightly. And you'll see why in a second. Because then we'll have some room for the... what's it called again? Stone. Jesus. That took me a while. Now I'm going to have... Nope. A conveyor belt stretched out from there. And you're wondering why is it the wrong way around? Because that's just easier. I've turned it around now. And I'll have a chute go over there. So this is a situation where I would prefer a chute to connecting into conveyor belts, because otherwise I would have to build up and get a pathway there and have these people put stones in there that way. So it's just easier for me to put it like this. Why are you all so confused as to how to put it on that chute? Does this help? It does actually. That's funny. I'm going to move you over. Right, now you have the room again. So it's going to bring all those stones here. It's going to be picked up by the conveyor belt and brought over. We could even make this chute just to speed it up, but honestly it doesn't really matter. The amount of time you save with that is negligible. This is going to feed the wooden rails in there, and we have our last research that we can do here. Cloth conveyor belts. So I see some carrots here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put down a farm. And we're going to produce some wool using that farm. So let's get a food mill in next to it. We'll produce animal feed from the carrots. Let's make sure the ground is leveled enough. And it's going to feed those carrots in there. And let's build a pasture next to it. And it's going to make wool. Now that is also once again going to produce fertilizer. So I'm going to feed the fertilizer into this barn and feed that back into the farm here. It doesn't have water, even though it's like right on there. And I see there's something wrong with our plank supply, so I'm going to check on that in a second. For now, let me finish this off. This is producing animal feed. It's inputting it into the pasture. That's outputting fertilizer into the barn, and it's pulling fertilizer from the barn into the farm. So it speeds up the farming process, and we'll need a workshop to make. Let's see, what do we need to make? To make cloth. And we need to make cloth conveyor belts. And we can do that with either... Well, that's actually pretty nice. If we do that with... let me think. Oh no, it's much... Hang on, I'm thinking here. We could either make it from... Yes, okay, this is the better option. We can make it from wheels, because we can produce the wheels here. And then we don't need to input wood into it. So we can just have a forester near these trees. Feed that into a lumber mill. That will make planks. We don't need a conveyor belt for that. We can actually employ a chute. So let's put a grabber in there. That's going to put it in there. That's going to put the wool into the workshop. And that is now going to be making, it's going to first make wood wheels. That's going to not output it, so it will stay into the input. It's going to make cloth. We're not outputting that, so it's staying in the workshop, and the both of those will make cloth conveyor belts. And now ultimately we want to output that into a barn. So let's grab that cloth conveyor belt. There we go. Now I did see our plank production was coming to a little bit of a halt, and that's because we only have one little guy working in that forest. So let's plop down a forester. We can't actually do that. Oh, that's a shame. Probably should have left that guy working on it a little bit. We've just been using up too much planks. And you're still waiting for the planks, so I'll get rid of you. We'll have that little guy produce 10 more planks. Sorry, 10 planks in total, so it only needs one more plank. Then we'll get rid of him and put down a forester to speed up the process. Now we have 10 planks. There we go. Let's put the forester down. And that's going to feed... Not enough planks. Fuck. Pick up the planks, drop it in. Sorry, pick up the wood. That's all we needed. We need just one little measly plank to make that chute. There we go. Now we have a steady supply of planks. Beautiful. So, if I'm not mistaken, we should be getting that. Oh, right, the water was the issue. So we're going to build a well once we have 10 planks. Even though it's right on the water, there is still an issue there. We're going to connect that water to, first of all, the farm, but also to the pasture, so it can produce those cloth conveyor belts. That is being input, and we can increase the amount of workers here so we can speed it up. Now let's check out our input here. We can increase the amount of workers here, and now we're at our cap. But that is going to be making, it is currently making cloth conveyor belts. It is successfully set up this way, so that's perfect. We also increase our house level, so we can add another worker, which maxes out our workshop. And that is as fast as we can produce it currently. We can increase the amount of planks that are being produced by upgrading both these and these with workers. But for now it's fine. We already have 6 new cloth conveyor belts. And now to prepare for the future, I'm going to put the cloth conveyor belt on top of the wood conveyor belt. Now, what is useful about using wood conveyor belts to create cloth conveyor belts is you can get rid of your old wood conveyor belts. And we will, at some point, we'll do some cleaning up. But for now, it's not really that relevant. So, right, we've got some extra people. So let's put 2 in here and 1 extra worker in there to speed up the wood production. That's going to input plenty of wood to keep going constantly. We can even increase the amount of workers here by 1. And it should be able to keep up. Oh, we can increase. We get so much extra workers because the level is just increasing for all of these houses. Oh, we can even upgrade the town center again. Just increase the radius there. Which also means that the workshop falls under the buff that we have, the processing buff. Which, what does it do again? Status processing. Potentially doubles the output of related recipes. Good. Probability increases with town center level. Perfect. Right, we have some more villagers again. Let's 1, 2, 3. Add 3 here. 2. All right, that is our lumber mill maxed out. So we just put the rest of the spare population that we have into the forester. So it's constantly producing, right? And we also can already upgrade our wooden conveyor belts to cloth conveyor belts here, which just speeds up the process here a little bit more. And look at that, we are at tech level 4. So that's where I'm going to call it for today. Just a short little video, but I hope you enjoyed it. So this is Factory Town. Let me know if you enjoyed watching this, if you enjoyed having it on in the background. I really like this game. It's very relaxing. It does, you know, massage my mind a little bit because I have to figure shit out. But other than that, there's no fail state. You can just, there's no enemies. You can just chill and build an efficient town. So, let me know what you want to see next. I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.